The Special Rapporteur on torture and other forms of cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment is one of the thematic mechanisms of the former Commission on Human Rights. It was established in 1985 and now taken over by the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. Now, a thematic mechanism is either a working group, 5 people, or an individual, a special rapporteur usually, who deals with a specific human rights issue, in my case torture, ill treatment, on a global level. So it means I receive complaints from individuals, families, NGOs from all over the world, and I send communications to governments. That means urgent appeals if somebody just has been arrested and there's a big risk that he or she is going to be tortured, then I can send it very, very quickly in order to tell the government, I don't know whether it's true, but it's credible, consistent, and you have an obligation to investigate and tell me whether it was true or not, and what you have done in order to stop torture and whatever, release the person concerned. That's one of my kind of daily activities, supported by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in Geneva, and I also have a small team in my Vienna office of the Boltzmann Institute of Human Rights who support me in that work. Another major activity is missions. I try to carry out about 4 country missions per year, which have a double focus. On the one hand, it is fact-finding, to look into the situation of torture, but also prison conditions, other forms of ill treatment. But in order to assess the situation and then to sit down with the government and develop a plan of action, ideally, so cooperation with the government, if I feel that the government is genuine in really changing the situation, I also try to involve international donors to assist them, so to develop a sustained cooperation with the governments concerned. Of course, I do report. I have one annual report to the Human Rights Council, usually in March in Geneva, and another annual report to the General Assembly, the Third Committee in New York in October, where I report on specific themes like torture and women, or torture and children, or persons with disabilities, or the fight against terrorism and the use of torture. Now we do a joint study on secret detention in the fight against terrorism. We have done a similar joint study on Guantanamo Bay detention facilities. So there are various issues, corporal punishment. I also touched capital punishment to some extent. And of course I report on the results of my country missions. And I should say it's all independent experts are voluntary positions. We are not paid, and we do it in our free time. My normal job is being professor of human rights at Vienna University.